I'm David Dinkins. I'm the 106th mayor of the city of New York.
What's your past occupation and current occupation?
Well, I'm currently a professor at the School of International Public Affairs at Columbia University. Before that, I was mayor of the city of New York for 4 years. And before that, I was borough president of Manhattan for 4 years, and it goes on.
Yes. So, why did you choose your career path, and what are you passionate about?
Well, let me answer the second first. I'm passionate about children. I really care about kids. They are our future, and I tell them all that. And I got involved in what I now do, really, I won't say by accident, but it was sort of a natural furtherance of what I'd always done. And being here at Columbia University in the School of International Public Affairs is a delight. When I was leaving the office, I lost my other job and got evicted from public housing. That's what Gracie Mansion is, it's public housing. And so a buddy of mine said, well, you should think about teaching at Columbia, because he had been a Columbia graduate and Columbia Law School and Columbia College. And I said, man, I haven't practiced law since way back when. He said, no, SEPA. I said, what's SEPA? He said, School of International Public Affairs. So in successive days, he met with the dean of the school and the president of the university, and here I am.
What does it mean to be African American?
Well, I look upon it with great pride because as those of us who know our history know that so much of the history of the world comes right out of Africa. And there was a time when kids in school, all they knew about Africa was Tarzan. But fortunately, I came along a little bit later, and we knew a whole lot better. So I'm very proud of my African heritage.
How long have you been in support of the African American Day Parade?
I've been a supporter of the African American Day Parade since its inception. I've always thought it was a great and wonderful idea, and I've been very pleased to march with pride in those parades. Don't march too much anymore, but it's really a great and wonderful thing, and people line the streets, and I'm very, very proud to be part of it.
And when you was a Grand Marshal, what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was being Grand Marshal of the African American Day Parade. For those of us who look with pride on our heritage, is really a great moment. I always acknowledge that I really didn't have any special right to be leading the parade, but I was happy to be so.
And what are your hopes for the future of the parade?
I hope the parade continues forever. It's very important that we know our heritage, and the parade helps provide that, especially for the youngsters, for the little ones coming along. They need to know about the parade and its past, and because they're going to lead it into the future.
Yes, sir. And who were some of your cultural influences in the community of African Americans?
Well, my buddy Percy Sutton has to be among the first mentioned, but I have a lot of heroes.
Yes, sir.
Nelson Mandela foremost. The people know that Arthur Ashe was a great performer, a great athlete, but not everybody knows that he was an activist. And the same thing goes for many others of my friends. Paul Robeson is Arthur, and of course Nelson Mandela. These are really great people. And sometimes when I'm asked who's the most important, the most memorable person you ever met, you know, not people who have died, but people that you actually got to know. And I always tell them, Madiba, Nelson Mandela.
And what are a few initiatives that you're working on to improve the African American community or the community in general?
Well, I'd like to think that what I do in general is improves the community, not just the African American community, but the community in general. And that's why I so much enjoy being here at Columbia University in the School of International Public Affairs. Because these youngsters, they're graduate students, but they're a whole lot smarter than I am. And I am just delighted with them. And it gives you hope for the future.
Yes, sir. So anything else you would like to say to the community about the African American Day Parade?
Well, I hope that everyone will come out. If you're not going to march in it, line the streets and applaud those who do. Because it's so important that we continue this as a tradition on into the future.